Well guys, what a morning, eh? Trying my best to get my head back in the game. Kind of thinking, wow, it's like a month, nearly pushing 2 months without a proper hike. And 2 disasters on the same fells. And you're tempted to kind of be crushed by it. And I'm just getting my head back in the mood, back in the confidence, because these things kind of knock you on your backside. But anyway, I've come out here. This is a local ramble that I've done before, 10 miler, and just look, that's what greets me. Gorgeous. This is Cuerden Valley Park, so I can officially say now, welcome back to the trail, guys. So it's about 6 o'clock, Sunday morning, 21st. Light shining in my eyes so you can see me. We're at Jubilee Tower on the Fells of Bowland. It's very early and the sun's not due up for a bit, so I'm going to chill out here. And then we're going to start the trail. So glad to have you on board. Nice, cool, clear skies out there. It's about 2 degrees, so we're all wrapped up. And yeah, we're doing 18 miler today, as soon as the sun decides to make an appearance. Got some beautiful cityscapes, but this camera isn't capable of recording that. So I'm going to enjoy them on your behalf. You're welcome. Get you back in a bit. Well, welcome back to a dark, early morning trail. Over there, sun is just starting to rise. It's going to be another hour before it's up fully. I thought we'd get a head start. It's about 2 degrees. We're all layered up. Just starting our ascent of the Bowland Fells, part 2. So, you've kind of got to laugh. Perfect morning, perfect start. Got halfway up the fell towards Shooters. I think it's Shooters Pike. Literally 10 minutes in, went to make a small crossing of like a boggy stream. Looked like something or nothing. Held on to the fence, stretched my leg over to the other side. Went, grabbed onto the side. 1 foot vanished into nothing. Down I went, waist deep in the drink. So this tiny little brook turned out to be whatever was part of a river coming off the fell. Tiny insignificant thing, but completely wiped me out. I was soaked from my waist down. My belt pouch and part of my backpack was soaked. And it's like 2 degrees on the clock, so I'm not carrying on. Boots drenched, pants drenched. But as I always say, these things happen. And they do have a humbling effect. So this walk was not meant to be. I'm going to head off back home quick, change into spare gear, try and make the most of the day once it gets really started. I've got a couple of other walks that I'm going to attempt, so not going to be put off at this point. Let's get home, let's get dry, let's get back on the trail. What a morning. It's about 8:30, 9 o'clock, something like that, but we're greeted by absolute beautiful skies, sun out. So I think give me a few minutes to get my head in the game and we're going to be back on track. So Cuerden Valley is literally across the road from me. It's just a small park built obviously into the valley, so we're just going to pass straight through it, head down a road that has quite a very special building in it, sort of a mansion thing. I don't know if we'll be able to get a look at it, and then follow a 10-mile circular route through Clayton Green, taking some of the bits of countryside to be found before heading back round. So that's the plan. Wasn't my original plan obviously, but we might as well nail this one while we're here. So this is the wall surrounding this sort of mansion thing. And I first saw it years ago, but I was blown away by it. It's like something out of Grand Theft Auto, GTA game a reference. Well, the last time I came, they were doing building work, so I couldn't really see anything. But we'll see what happens when we get round the corner. Clever. Yeah, you can barely get a glimpse in now. Well, yeah, it was proper bizarre. I think you can Google it, see some of the photographs. Sold for a few pennies, that. Obviously who's there now likes to keep their privacy. It's just a weird house in a weird place, so that's a shame. Would have liked to have shown you that properly, but not to worry. Right, we're going to carry on down here, right hand turn into the valley itself, get some nice views, press on. This is the River Lostock. We're following it into Whitley Woods, kind of going Chorley way. Very busy this morning. All the dog walkers, because obviously it's a busy little area and it's quite late, so yeah. So this is the site of the old Cuerden mill that had its own bleaching sort of division. Had a bit of a checkered history, but pretty much came to the end in the early 1900s. Got some more here. So yeah, all gone now. Based on the River Lostock. You can just see the footprint, the old brickworks and the old layout. Very credit to them for putting up these plaques, but they're a bit weathered now, and I don't think many people come this way except the dog walkers. Well, yeah, goes back to sort of the 1700s where it first was put on this site, so a bit of a history there. So it was 1914 when a fire broke out one day in October, and even though the alarm was raised quite early, people were unable to put it out, and 170 people lost their jobs, thankfully just not their lives, and all the machinery, bar a few things, were lost, and the site was pretty much doomed. So, and this is all that remains. Ended up in the hands of a trust who now maintain the ruins. Yeah, something interesting on today's trail. I'm going to be honest, still not feeling it, guys. I haven't sort of regained my drive yet. I'm working on it. We'll press on. Oh well, thought pretty much at the halfway point, near enough. Gonna have a brew. Try and generate some kind of motivation. Can't fault the view. Well, I've got my brew. Well, to recap, I haven't really said much because it's been quite busy this trail. This morning I set off to the Bowlands to tackle those fells again, because I've got at least 2 or 3 days worth of trekking across them fells, try and hit all the trig points. But that was the plan, and it was the second one, and everything had gone really well. It was kind of, I was there early, it was still dark, so I was going to get a sunrise. The sky was absolutely clear, and yet 2 minutes, 3 minutes up the moorland, following the trail with my head torch on, it was just becoming first light. Come across a sort of narrow stream. It wasn't even a stream, it just looked like boggy grass with a bit of water in. And I thought, right, I'll navigate across it. Nothing I haven't done before. Stretched my leg across, holding on to the clumps of grass, and then my other leg just vanished. And it's a weird feeling, because you suddenly realise it's got no bottom to it. So I'm just checking people out coming. And I sank all the way down to my waist, and obviously this is like 2 degrees C. And I'm quite glad it happened early on, because if that had happened halfway through a trail, I'd be in a kind of emergency situation right then. So I clambered out, and my first thought was kind of like, what the heck? Why? And you do find yourself asking that kind of question. You're like, everything came together well, everything was perfect, and yet that happened right off the bat. But I don't have an answer for that. I've just got to assume that Chief upstairs, the big man himself, had other plans for me, and was looking to teach me a lesson, not necessarily a bad way, but something good to think about and understand. It did challenge me on having the I was glad to have the spare clothes in the back of the car so I could get out of the wet clothes and drive home, but I didn't have any spare shoes, so I kind of got lazy on that front. And I kind of did start thinking, well, what would have happened if that had hit me middle of the trail? Am I being a bit careless with some of these paths? Am I being a bit overconfident? And then on the flip side, coming back and thinking, should I have just stayed at home instead of coming out today? And I'm still wrestling with that. I haven't got an answer. Normally I'm quite optimistic, but I've got to accept that there's going to be trials in my life. And this is one of them, and here I am wrestling with it and thinking, a lot of the way down here I was like, do I turn around, go back? Do I turn around, go back? To 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 miles, do I turn around? And I'm still going. I'm still going. So I've been kind of raving about this earth pack bag since I used it last time on the Angel Knives trail, where I went to see that sculpture. Hideous! But now, as I've kind of examined it, starting to see, I don't know if you can see it here, on the most important bit, the straps, the seams are starting to come away. I've not overloaded it, so, but it inspired me that I like the roll top design, and I think you get more economy out of the space. So if it's 60 litres, I think you get more economy. But rather than this, I have seen a X-Ped, which is quite steep, but I do like the look of it, and it's ultra light, which would skim almost 2 kilos off my pack weight. I'm not even feeling that pack weight's an issue, but I kind of fell in love with this roll top design. But I've not made any decisions on that. The jury is still out. We'll see. I do like my Kelty 90 litres. Still not motivated. Stuff it. I'm having another brew. I'm feeling a little bit of fire. Feeling a little bit. Switch. I've got a pepper steak pie and a ham sandwich because I expected to be on the hills, burning calories and making all kinds of gains. All kinds. Well, no. I'm having a brew. Maybe I'm repeating myself, but hey, I'm sure you're used to it by now. These are the kind of things I have. Little sachets. This is a 3-in-1. So it's sugar, milk and coffee. And then in the bag there's some 2-in-1s, some hot chocolate, some tea. And these you get dead cheap from places like B&M, Home Bargains. You can buy a bag of 12 for like less than £1. Less than £1. So yeah, much easier than making a brew in a flask. And as I said about the flask, if you do it this way and just fill that with hot water, it saves you having to clean it out and get all the mank out of it. So I had 2 brews, just relaxed in the sun and kind of put my thoughts together. I think, in conclusion, this challenged me on some of my kit, that I need to have backup hiking gear, because quite frankly I'm out in my green pants, my green shirt, my green jumper, and I've said this before that quite often, whether we care to admit it or not, it's caught my attention. Someone's had a good time. Couldn't you just tuck your rubbish with you? Anyway, whether we admit it or not to ourselves, I'm going to be honest. I regret taking my jumper off. No, I'm going to be honest and say, clothes maketh the man. And I think we all dress in a way that makes us confident to be out in the public. And these green pants do not do that. They're going in the bin when I get home. It's no good having something on my hangers that I know I'm not going to wear. But yeah, and the Magnum Vipers, because they're the only other pair of boots that I'm willing to wear, not getting the brand new Solomon's out. don't feel confident in these, and I'm getting a bit of a rub already. We're only 5 miles in, so these are going to have to be definitely put away, not used for hiking. So yeah, you've got to have things that make you confident when you come out here and don't give you any more mental stress than you're already under. And we are going to head up there, there and there. You're bleeding, man. Ain't got time to bleed. Sound like Mr. T, that. How pitiful. Sorry again for the sound quality. That wind noise reduction nonsense. So, as you can tell, we've just passed under the motorway there. And we're just going to pick up the road, which I suspect is that way. It's a bit of a weird one, this. There's public access through the field, but it's not quite obvious where. Yeah, feeling better now. Obviously I put my jumper back on. It's got a really cutting breeze at the minute, but the sun's still out and I ain't complaining. So yeah, I've come to the conclusion that prayer and coffee is what's kept me going for the last 39 years. See, the Magnums are good for summer. Got dry feet. I can just make them comfortable, like Dan said. Wear them until they're comfortable. I'm not doing 10 miles or more in them. Today's an exception. Just passing through Lower Copthurst. I'll follow the road round and then pick up the Leeds-Liverpool Canal. Gorgeous. Busy with the cyclists today. Not much else. On the canal path, and I follow it north and then break off, cut across, pick up the sort of housing estate near Whately Woods. Over halfway now. Lovely though. Canal. Gorgeous. Sun's still out but it's cold. Cold breeze, so but yeah. Lovely. So we're off the canal path now. We're just heading west towards Denham Hall. We're going to cross a few fields to do that, and then we're going to start snaking north up towards our motorway bridge and back over, and like I said, into a kind of housing estate. It's not too pleasant to walk through, but it doesn't take us too long. And then we'll be on our home stretch Probably got about 4 or 5 miles left. Obviously we're over the halfway, so it's about 4. I'm taking it easy. Feet are a bit sore from the boots. Might even have that peppered steak pie now, but weather's beautiful, what can I say? It was worth pushing on. So yeah. Just a little uphill. Little bits, the sun is right behind me. So yeah, I'm glad I pushed on. Glad I pushed through the mental fog came from this morning. It's been a long day so far. And being dumped wasn't on the cards. Well yeah, as winter's approaching now, we're into late November, early December. The weather's really dropping in temperature. It's getting quite cold now. So it was 2 degrees this morning. It kind of did wake me up to think I really do need to be careful. Don't make silly schoolboy errors like that. But I think I've been looking at doing the Wire Way, which I've done as day walks. I've mentioned this before. I am repeating myself, but I just need to check out the accommodation and see if it's still open this time of year. If not, it's just going to be day hikes. I would like to do that one. That's a 3-dayer with 2 nights. Plenty to see. I did enjoy it as a day pass, so day hikes, day pass. But yeah, we end up in Fleetwood, we end up on the coast, and then we head off into the boonies. We do our little chunk of Garstang again, near Scorpion. All kinds of good stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. If we can get that done this year, I'll nicely cap off the year. If not, plenty of other things we can be doing. And you're walking along in an empty field. Kind of relaxing. So that was Denham Hall, circa 18 something or other. We're heading towards the main road. And well, Huff Hill I think it's called. I've been up on the top of it. There's a trig point, but it's often used to scale the crags. It's just this tiny little square of land really, high point. Just randomly there, seems really weird. But yeah, I don't think we'll climb it today, we've already got it. But I'll take some footage from down below. Well, you probably won't be able to see it, but clear as day you've got Blackpool Tower and then the Pepsi Max big one just on the horizon there. It is a very clear day today, and one of the benefits of winter. So yeah, Huff Hill I think, without checking the map, just on our right here. Look at that fella. Look at that view though. What a clear day. Thoroughly clear. Like I said, there. Follow the line of trees there. That one there. And just to the right, just stabbing the horizon there, Blackpool Tower. And then to the left of it, tiny little bump, the Pepsi Max big one. Big roller coaster. There's all sorts I don't know what that is over there, but yeah. You know me and this view. We get very familiar with it, don't we? Anyway, I don't know what you come to see. I'm working on it, hang on. Look at that fella. Soggy bottom, it's been in the fridge for a bit. Oh. No. Very peppery. Came from a local pie shop. One of the last things you want on your trail is a leak in your bag. Well, seeing as though you asked so nicely, we'll go up Huff Hill. It's only a short climb, not often travelled by the look of it. It'd be rude not to. All the graffiti down there. At the top, King T, Troy. I went to so much effort. Anyway, we're just going to go up there and around. Someone went to the effort of bringing fireworks up here. Yeah. Quite a drop, but quite a view. And with no apologies whatsoever, I'm going to do my usual trick, which is that is Jubilee Tower, still covered in scaffold, following it around Winter Hill, Rivington Pike just on the top of that little knoll there, following it around the M6 with the Mormon temple overshadowing it, and moving around, carrying on the M6 down here, and then off in the distance Blackpool, and then there our beloved Preston. Yeah, and then the Bowland Fells, probably where I was supposed to be today, but not meant to be. Ah, this, out in the middle of nowhere, this little lonely trig point. Boosh and boosh, that red rose of Lancashire. There's the plate. There you go. There's the fella. Well, he does command a heck of a view. Beautiful, man. Got it all to myself for now. So yeah, I'm actually quite glad I came up. I was going to avoid it, but I'm quite glad now. In fact, I'm quite glad things have worked out the way they have. Just giving me a chance to relax and settle back into hiking again after a month and a half of just busyness and illness and blah blah blah, all that jazz. And it just made me appreciate my local area with all its viewpoints that you get hammered with every time you watch these videos. So yeah, for those and the fells I would have been on where I took a dunk. And obviously God in his wisdom has decided that's not for me today. It was a bit of an ask. It was 18 miles, and now the daylight's going, it's probably not the best place to be, so yeah, happy to be here, happy to make the most of the weather, happy to have you guys along for the ride. Getting a bit cold now. That pie was really good. Pie shop near the 7 Stars in Leyland. Giving you a shout out because I can't remember what your name is. Anyway, everyone knows where the 7 Stars is if you're a Leylander, so get yourself to that pie shop. Peppered steak. And what can I say? Let's go. I want to get home. I want to get warm. I've got a lot of kit that needs drying. So coming off Hull Hill, we want this road here all the way towards the motorway, and a very dodgy underpass to get to the other side. We're doing some road walking now, and I've just been looking at the map, and from this point I would turn north, not go across this particular bridge, but hit an underpass further up and then enter into the housing estate I was telling you about. It kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. It did the last time. So once I've gone through that estate, I will literally be back in Cuerden Valley, which is stuff you've already seen, and I just pick up the route that I took out and go back over it to come back out again. But we're not going to do that. We're going to mix it up a bit, and we're going to follow the main road from here over the motorway bridge. Take a more direct path back to the car. We'll go back down Cuerden Valley, the actual road, and then pick up Shady Lane, Shady, and then back to the car. Because apart from that, which is probably the peak, oh, fun, that's as good as it's getting today, view-wise, and I can't really ask for much more given how this day started. So that's the plan. We'll stick with it. Tell you what we will do, we'll have a very soggy snack. See what we got going on here. The mandrill. Look at his ass. His fat ass is hanging out. What's it say? Colourful faces and bottoms. The leader has the most brightly coloured bottom. I've definitely not got that card. I kind of wish I still didn't. Oh well. Packaging got soggy. No. Mandrill. Yeah. No food. Heading down Sheep Hill now. So just on Shady Lane and stepped off the beaten track to pick up a trail that will just cut the corner off onto Shady Lane. Honesty time again. Absolutely goosed. I mean, it's just the boots and my mood that never really recovered from this morning, so quite happy to be at the end of this walk, get back to the car, get home, reassess and get back my mental energy. It's Monday tomorrow, back at work, back in the routine, and then we'll be looking at walking next weekend. So yeah, not put off at all. Sometimes you just got to take the rough with the smooth, take whatever is thrown at us. Learned a few lessons, haven't we? And realised some of the weird dangers that you face on the hills. I never thought of what happened this morning happening, but now it'll be in the back of my mind. So yeah, come back a bit stronger next week with all the original gear, proper boots, and back at it. We're not going to be put off, are we? No chance. That's it, the car is in sight, nearly there. There we go, back in the car. What can I say? I can say that was a good peppered steak pie. Really did enjoy that. Need more pies in my life. Well, we made the best that we could out of today. We've enjoyed the weather. We've had glorious weather, even though the cold kept up with us. We got some views, Cuerden Valley, and on Huff Hill, that great panorama. That was brilliant. And we slogged our way through, despite the rocky start to today and our original plans being put to nothing. But that's the way it goes. That's the life of the pilgrim. That you can plan your path as best as you want, but if the man upstairs says not today, it ain't happening. So anyway, I'm grateful that we got out. I'm grateful I got out with you guys, and we had a moment of reflection, didn't we? Sat on that bench, chilling out, a couple of cups of coffee. Prayer and coffee gets me through. And we moseyed on, didn't we? We plodded on. So there's plenty to learn, plenty to take away, plenty to be grateful for. That could have been a lot more serious this morning. Could have been a lot more dangerous, especially if that had happened maybe 9 miles in, you know, with no escape route, no quick emergency plan. I mean, literally was within 2 minutes of the car, and in the car I'd packed spare clothes that I could change out into. So a lot of blessings there and a lot of lessons to be learned. So I'm going to take that away and meditate on that for a bit, and I'm going to try and recover some of my enthusiasm as I think about next weekend. We do have the weekend free. I think the missus is working, so I'm going to put some ideas together and see what comes about, and we'll see what happens there. Anyway, it's enough of me. You guys take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time back on the trail.